Glad you're aware.
Am I though, or do I just agree?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, it's true.
You just don't know. There we go. We're live.
Take a big mug of tea, big slurpee.
Yum.
Right.
I got a nice black coffee. It's actually sticky toffee pudding flavoured coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
Never even heard of that. That's really good.
Yeah, it's from Beanies. It's lovely.
It sounds good. I might like that.
You might like that.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
Audience.
Tuesday afternoon.
Is this my screen that... What's going on?
What's happened?
Oh. It's decided to run the sound in the background on Facebook, despite me switching the sound off.
Excellent.
So it's just what I do. Whatever. It's fine.
It's Tuesday afternoon, and
you know, despite being a so-called geek, I am apparently rubbish at tech.
Oh, you're very good at tech. And that Emma Jane Sadler thinks you're very good at tech because she just watches you all the time.
Because riveting.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a conversation about chocolate, and in the interests of science, look at the bite marks. I may have done some research. This is the Aldi Chocker, £1.49 a bar for the Gucci stuff, and it's salted pretzel with milk chocolate.
Sounds delicious.
Look at the size of the pieces in that.
Do you think that forensics would be able to identify that it was you that bit into that chocolate?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. If they could be bothered and it hadn't rained.
Yeah, it's just sort of like lying there at a crime scene. Oh, yeah. Who's eating this chocolate?
No, they tend to turn up here and go, yeah, I'll get notes off that. It's rained.
Yeah. Love it.
Which is code for we don't have the budget to test everything.
Yeah.
Labrador snout up to my chocolate.
She's doing her own forensic test.
The lab test.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best kind of lab test.
Yeah, we can't do CAT scans anymore. Since Marvin died. And Bertie left home.
Well, my stepdaughter's cat seems to have left home. He's been missing for 4 days and she's beside herself.
He'll turn up.
Well, that's what I said to her, but she says he never goes anywhere.
Is he locked in a shed or a garage?
That's what I said he might be. I said, my cat, Kenobi, disappeared for 5 days and he came home. He was obviously starving. He shouted at everyone as if it was our fault, ate loads and then slept for a day.
Ellie went off, our tabby, who was, how do I put this? She had a thing about going off and joining in cat adventures nighttime.
Oh, yeah.
So apparently they do a bit of group cats.
Is that a bit like dogging?
Every kitten could have a different dad. That's the theory with cats, if you just do their own thing. And she disappeared for 3.5 months.
Wow.
And then I'm sat one day and all I can hear is really angry, snarly cat.
Yeah.
There she is in the kitchen, telling me off.
Because it was obviously your fault.
Well, yeah. I mean, the bizarre part about that is we'd moved house about a week before, and she found us. We'd moved from Barrow to Pennington, just down the road from here, about a mile from where I live now.
She probably thought you did what my parents always threatened to do, move house while I was at school and come home and they'd be gone.
Yeah. Yeah, they never do though, do they?
They don't.
They just threaten it.
They just threaten it. And then you come home and they're still there.
You can never threaten my brother with anything. My mum always used to say, "We'll eat your dinner. Starving children in Africa will be desperate for that." And he'd just go, "Well, post it to him then."
Yeah.
You can have it. It's rubbish.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
How's this blankie coming on then?
I've only done
Wow.
rows really.
What, have you been busy?
I have. I did some laundry this morning.
Yeah.
What else have I done? A bit of web stuff.
Right.
Answered a load of emails. Did about an hour of reading up on paperwork for Audit and Risk Committee tonight.
Yeah.
Did some more laundry. Hung some out, hung some upstairs.
Yeah.
Took in the stuff that was outside because it was dry. Put some more out. So I've done 2 lots of towels today.
It's been lovely, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I took the grill pan out and hand washed the sort of silicone sheet thing that sits in the bottom.
Yeah.
And scraped off any crud that was on it and did all of that, and then put the other stuff through the dishwasher. So that's all gleamy and shiny and
cool.
Looks completely out of place in my house.
I got some of that Astonish oven cleaner. It's really good, you know.
Oh, I'll give that a go. But then I went at 1 o'clock, not realising that the health centre was shut.
Oh, nightmare.
To go and pick up prescriptions for some people.
What time did they open?
2 o'clock. I mean, I didn't get there till 20 by the time I had a couple of paper prescriptions to pick up, you know, the request paperwork that you get. Someone else had picked those up from somebody, and then I had to drop them off because I was going to the correct pharmacy for them.
Right, okay.
So I dropped them in, and then there's a little sign on the outside saying revised pharmacy hours, and I'm thinking, great. But they did have some chairs outside and traffic cones to separate people by 2 meters. And because I was the idiot that was first there, I got a chair.
Excellent.
So I sat in the sun, and then another lady arrived, and we had a natter about Netflix, how the traffic was, the way she lived on the coast road and stuff like that.
Yeah.
By then it was 2 o'clock, so it was all right.
Oh, you didn't have any emergency knitting with you?
Didn't have anything with me because I thought, oh, that'll just be up, and that's an essential, isn't it, a pharmacy? Well, that's not going to close for lunch, is it?
Yeah, they do, though. Didn't I tell you that the opening hours on my one when I was going last week? So instead of opening 9, they would normally open 9 till 6, but you couldn't pick up prescriptions between half 1 and half 2 because the pharmacist had their lunch. But
Right.
they were still open. And now they're open 10 till 1, I think, or 12 or something, and then they shut for about an hour or 2 hours in the middle of the day, and then they're only open till 5 in the afternoon as well.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people will be moving their prescriptions to pharmacies rather than supermarkets, because if they're at home shielding, I can tell you for nothing, if somebody wants me to pick up a prescription from Asda's and have to queue for an hour
just to get to the pharmacy.
Yeah, not happening.
Unless they're going to start making separate lines for you if you are literally just going to go to the pharmacy. If they have a
pharmacy queue, even if someone escorted you to the pharmacy to make sure that's what you were doing, and you then had to come back out and re-queue if you were going shopping.
Yeah.
That would be fair dues.
Yeah.
But no, I'm definitely not. No, I mean, I'm happy to shop for anybody and whiz around the little shops or booths if that's where they want to go, or Aldi, but I'm not doing battle with the Asda queue again. It was, I have to say, it was very well organised. It was well done, but you know, it's an hour of your day gone before you do anything else. My
plans have been scuppered because I had every intention. I was like, right, Callum walks the dog on a Friday, so I'll get up and go to Tesco because they open at 6:30 in the morning. I'll get to Tesco's for 6:30 on Friday morning, not remembering that it's Good Friday. So I'm going to have a look online and see if what they've done about their times this Friday. Otherwise, I'll have to Sunday hours Good Friday. other than that, I'm going to have to swap with Callum and ask him if he can walk the dog on Thursday, and I'll go shopping on Thursday instead.
Right.
But scuppered, couldn't believe it.
Well, it is Easter. I mean, to be fair, it moves every year, so it does
Yeah.
kind of
I know.
stuff you're planning. It's not like Christmas is always on the same day, is it? You know.
And you can't
when
get
that
Easter
date's
eggs.
coming. Yeah.
I've tried getting some Easter eggs online for Caitlin, but yeah.
No joy.
No joy. Oh, I could have bought one off of Amazon for £21.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun.
No, not at all. Do you want to see my jumper?
Oh, go on.
I joined my arms in, didn't I, last night? Hang on, move needles.
This your steeked jumper?
Yeah, this is going to steek into a cardigan. So obviously it's all weird colours. But there we go. And just on the, I don't know if you can even see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
So my arms are there. They've still got the thingies for the underarms. That could be like, do you know, like in the old days when they used to have gaps all round, didn't they? Because obviously they couldn't sew the beautiful dresses properly. But yeah, so I joined it in. I've probably got, I don't know, hang on. That's how much I've done since last night. Just that bit there from where I've joined it in.
All right.
Just starting to do the decreases for the yoke. So there's about 400 stitches on there. So It takes a while to get round. 3mm needles.
Ooh.
I know. And actually I am getting
I am not worthy.
Finger.
I am not worthy.
And then I'm going to steek it as well.
I'm just so not worthy. Yeah, I'm just crocheting.
You crotchety.
Crocheting.
So
I did read a couple of pages of my colour book last night.
Anything interesting?
Not really. It's still the introductory bit where she's sort of saying, and I then studied psychology, and then I looked at this, and then I looked at that. Whereas I'm sort of more of the should have looked at the index first and just gone to the chapters I was interested kind of person.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not interested in your motivation, sweetie. Just tell me what I want to know.
Mind you, it's a bit like the romance text on all our knitting patterns, isn't it? Does anybody actually read that bit?
I don't know. I think it depends. If like on the Ravelry pattern page, if it's got the important stuff like the sizes, the core measurements that you need to have a rough idea of what size you're going to make, what yardage approximately, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I expect that. And I'm not really bothered, you know, if they write anything else. But Alicia Plum occasionally does this thing where you get a poem.
All right.
And it'll be, you know, larks singing in the breeze and the sunlight catches the ship's sails in the distance or something like that. But there's nothing that actually tells you what sizes the sweater is, how many yards.
That's frustrating.
And once or twice I've sort of looked at it and thought, yeah, I would like to know some of the base measurements as the schematic, please. That would be lovely. Rather than this sort of floral thing. But she obviously loves her poetry and that was her inspiration and she's written it for that. And, you know, 10 out of 10.
Should I put my poetry in my pattern romance?
I mean, you could do a pie shawl with a red centre and call that the cat's bum.
And what kind of wool would I make it in? Something quite furry.
I think the middle bit you would have to use a superfine merino or something like that.
Or a silk or something that's, you know, got no fibres sticking out of it, nice and smooth.
Yeah, and then you could go
mercerised cotton.
An eyelash yarn or a faux fur or something like that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That's Jake just passing through.
What's he getting? Food?
Possibly, and a cup of tea, he says.
Cup of tea.
Emma says hi.
I've got coffee, not tea.
Says he could do with a coffee, but we don't actually have individual coffee. We only have sachets because that's all I drink.
I'll have to send you some beanies. Do like my beanies coffee.
Yeah, they used to do it in Aldi, but they haven't had it lately.
No, probably all sold out.
It's one of them things, isn't it?
I saw an advert this morning for Aldi, and I'm sure it said something along the lines of someone said, "I'm just nipping to Aldi's," and I actually laughed out loud, and I thought, "No, you're not, love."
Yeah, well, you might be nipping to Aldi, but you're not going to nip through Aldi. It's no longer a 20-minute shop.
You may be sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a flask.
Yeah, and a book or something.
Yeah, I wish I brought some knitting or something like that with me. That would have been good. I could have done half a sock in the Asda queue.
I'm just going to show you because I've been feeling quite spring-like today. So I've gone for my 3/4 length trousers and I've got a vest on because it's quite warm, isn't it? It's definitely warm indoors, but my feet were cold. So I've actually got hand knit socks on.
Oh.
Do you like them?
They're lovely.
These are my Cumbria ones.
All right. Is this an Outlander inspired?
Well, it was
or
inspired.
Is that Merida?
Yeah, the yarn was the Merida yarn, I think, or something, wasn't it? Oh, did I call it?
Right. I can't. Brave, isn't it?
Brave. That's what the yarn was from. I got it from, I believe it was Brew City Yarns in America, and she did these colorways that were based on the Disney female characters.
All right.
And there was Ariel, which I love, The Little Mermaid. It's one of my favorite movies. So I got that one, and I got these ones, and made socks out of them. And I absolutely love the colorways. They're just gorgeous.
I've got some Tesco socks on. So.
Oh, I don't wear my socks very often, to be fair. I don't like wearing them with shoes, not handmade ones. I only wear them around the house instead of slippers.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that with my handmade socks that Mary made me.
But I do wear 2 pairs of socks, like normal shop bought socks. I always wear 2 pairs all the time. I can't wear 1 pair of socks. It's funny, isn't it?
Jake likes to layer them. He has those little shorty trainer sock things.
Yeah. Well, it started from running. I always wore 2 pairs of little socks in my trainers when I went running to stop the friction. It stops you getting blisters.
How does it?
Because apparently the friction will then work on the 2 layers of socks, and there's no friction on your foot, so you don't get the blisters.
I got some of those 1,000-mile socks.
Yeah, they're really good, aren't they?
No, they lied.
Oh.
They totally lied, because after 4 miles I had blisters. Hated them.
Mine aren't 1,000 miles, mine are more miles.
Ah, well, that's the thing.
This
was like a folded tube.
Okay.
With the toes, and if you weren't careful when you put them into the washing machine, the lining separated out from the other bit.
That doesn't sound good.
And they were ridiculously expensive. And no, they were not comfy at all.
So you won't be hurrying to buy any more of those again then?
Well, I don't know that I'm going to be running anytime soon.
Well, you never know.
Well, no, you never know. But odds are.
Well, I went on the treadmill this morning. I used up my
treadmill.
Yeah, the treadmill. I used up my 1 government-approved exercise outdoors by walking the dog. So I went on the treadmill, which was exhausting. I don't know why, but you always feel like you're running faster on there than you feel like you're running when you're on the roads. And it's just, and you look at your distance that you've done in the time, and you're like, well, that wasn't very far.
I think what you should do is put the telly in front of the treadmill, right?
Yeah.
Or the laptop in front of the treadmill,
Yeah.
And play things like, do you remember the flake advert? Only the crumbliest bit.
Oh, yeah.
Play stuff like that on a loop.
Yeah.
And just out of reach. You have to run to keep trying to get it.
Yeah. No, I don't think that would work. I'd just get annoyed and get off. And it'd make me very hungry for afterwards.
There's a lovely video of 2 dogs. I think one's a corgi, definitely.
Right.
One of them's running on the treadmill, and the other one, the treadmill's going next to it, and he's just dabbing it with one paw. Like, yeah, he was obviously the smart one in the litter.
Definitely. Arthur keeps trying to put his toys on mine. He'll put his ball on it, and then it falls off the end, and he goes and picks it up and then brings it back and puts it on. It falls off the end. So it's a good game.
Smarter than the average bird.
But however, he does sometimes get a bit close to my feet when he's doing it.
Right, yeah.
And he got shouted at this morning, and he barked back at me. I went, Arthur, and he went, woof.
So what have you got planned tomorrow? Anything?
What day is it tomorrow? Is it Christmas Day?
Wednesday tomorrow.
Wednesday.
It was Christmas Day the other day because the
Queen Sunday was on telly, wasn't it? Yeah.
The Queen was on.
Oh, exciting things tomorrow. I have to put the rubbish out ready for the dustman coming on Thursday morning.
Yeah, who knew that this year the bin would go out more often than we did?
Yeah, exactly. I should really turn the car over again tomorrow.
Right.
I was thinking about doing it today, and then I just couldn't be bothered.
I was thinking I would go out yesterday, get prescriptions, get shopping, and that'll probably be it for a few days. But it looks like every day someone...
I was going to say you're going to be out every day now.
I think I may restrict it to X days a week and say, these are the days that you have to ask, or you don't get them, because otherwise
you will be out
just
all
be
the
ridiculous.
Time.
Well, yeah, and 2 for 1 person this week have been, oh gosh, it's urgent, it's this, it's got to be today, it's got to be that, it's it's got to be right now. One was yesterday and one was today. Just get your act together.
That's the problem. We're going to all have to start having a little bit of forethought, aren't we?
Yeah,
bit of planning.
It doesn't take a bit of much in the way of planning. I mean, my mum and dad always have the prescription stuff out.
Yeah,
there's some things that are on a repeat for so many weeks, some things for this, but my mum's always got her one good eye.
Yeah,
on what's going on and what's due, and it's marked up on the calendar weeks before when she needs to order it, to give them plenty of time to sort it out, and particularly if it's anything that they may have to order in.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a military exercise. It's just a bit of work with a bit of a diary or a sheet of paper or your little black book or something.
I think the problem is we're just not used to it, are we?
No, we're not.
We're used to going, oh, I need that, or I'll go out tomorrow for it, or I'll go out later on this afternoon.
Well, exactly. And if you've always been independent and all of a sudden you're told, I'm sorry, but you're not allowed to leave the house for 3 months, it's a big shock to the system, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I'm quite liking it in a minute, but I haven't been told that I can't go out.
Yeah, so, I bumped into, well, not obviously bumped into, because you can't get close enough. I saw Fiona and Lynn Ross earlier, who live up on the top of the road. Lynn's a member of this group. And they were outside at the front of the house. Lynn was painting garden ornaments.
Excellent.
Just for something to do. And Fiona was painting. They've got like a little covered porch area.
Yeah.
So she's painting hers white and it looks all gleamy. And I said, well, under the rules of social distancing, I can't help you. But if you wish to bring the paint down and paint my porch later, that'd be lovely. She just went, so she might be down with the paint later. Who knows?
Depending on how bored she gets.
Yeah. But I think she's glad of being able to be outside, to be honest.
I just don't get it. I do not get this whole I'm bored thing.
No, I don't either.
I've got loads.
Anyone that grew up with my mother knows that you don't say you're bored.
Don't say you're bored.
That results in toilet scrubbing and
we always got, you said I'm bored, the reply came back, well, you better find yourself something to do before I find you something. And it was never as explicit as your mum saying, right, go and clean the toilet or whatever, but it was implied.
Oh, she didn't say it. You got the
Right.
cloth, which was used to belt you around the back of the head.
Yeah.
A clipped ear, as she would call it. You get walloped with it and you'd be sent upstairs with the cleaning materials, and then she'd stand over you while you did it to her exacting standards.
Excellent.
So on the plus side, I'm quite good at cleaning toilets.
Yeah.
But I learned very early on to never again use the bored word. But of course, my brother, bored and fed up, well, that was it. He never learned his lesson.
Some people just don't learn, do they?
No, and that's absolutely Colin. My dad would be the same.
Yeah.
Never learn either.
I love it. No, I haven't found that I've had to use that word at all yet.
No,
I'm still loving it.
There's a couple of, because the timing of all of this, I mean, we knew it was coming.
We did.
And I've been involved in emergency planning and other things like that. So I had a better idea probably than most of how long this was going to go on for.
Yeah.
So I think I'd probably had a few more weeks in my own head to kind of wrap my head around it and prepare for it. But when the actual lockdown was announced on the Monday night, and it was my birthday in the morning, and it had been Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And Jake was ill and I was ill and we hadn't gone anywhere and I didn't have a card and I didn't have a birthday present and we couldn't do anything. It's like, it was like, oh, what do you want to do for your birthday? Well, how about we stop in and we eat at home? Because
and just eat whatever we can find in the cupboards as well, because you didn't have cake or chocolate, did you?
We didn't have any of that in the house. We didn't have anything remotely good. I mean, we had enough to keep us healthy.
Yeah.
Quite a healthy diet, but my goodness, it was dull. But then we couldn't taste anything either, and
so it would be a waste anyway.
The sort of day after my birthday, I think I was a little bit flat.
Yeah,
and it was just kind of like, well, where did that go? No, it was all a bit. Well, all right then.
To be fair, I never usually do anything for my birthday, so if that had happened to me, I wouldn't have noticed any difference.
Well, we rarely eat out.
Yeah,
I'm not really that mithered. We don't go to the theatre or shows or anything like that locally. It's not my thing.
No.
I sit at home and do this or knit, and I'm really actually quite content to do that. And I'm happy with my own company. I don't necessarily need to see other people every day. It's nice to say hello to my neighbours. I saw Alice at the store this morning and we had a quick chat. And it was lovely just to see that he was okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've known him coming up 15 years now. So, and he was like a granddad to Jake when we first moved in. So he's known Jake since Jake was a little lad. So yeah, that's all nice. And I like that about the area that I'm in, that we all kind of know one another.
Yeah.
And it is quite a strong community. And like Denise rang me and asked me a question about someone today. She didn't know them, but I did, and I was able to fill in the background and, what's the health concern? Oh, well, it's this, because I know them. And that's helped immensely.
Yeah.
Just having that sort of local intelligence. It's all a bit weird, but yeah, just for a day or so, I was a bit flat. I wasn't bored, but on the Wednesday night, I put the and I couldn't find anything I wanted to watch on Sky.
Yeah.
900 channels of no. I went through Netflix, watch that. I was faffing about with it, and then I'm going through Sky Go to see if there's any on catch up, and I just thought, no, you're not in the mood. So I just picked up my knitting, switched the telly off, and then had an early night, and I was fine in the morning.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know whether I just
we would call that being out of sorts.
Oh.
That's what we say. I'm just feeling out of sorts, because nothing's wrong, that nothing that you can put your finger on, but you can't settle to anything and you just don't feel quite right. There's something there. Kids call it meh, don't they?
Yeah, Mum sometimes refers to it as feeling a bit seedy or sickening for something.
I was going to say seedy sounds wrong.
Yeah, I keep saying it must be a Scottish thing because I keep saying, it's completely different meaning here, Mum.
It's like the one time I used, I think it's an army term. You know, when they, the PT instructor puts the soldiers through it and you say, oh, he's beasting you.
Yeah.
Whereas up here, that means something completely different and you shouldn't really use it.
Yeah.
But down south, we used it all the time. So the first time I used that, I got a lot of raised eyebrows.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? It's the colloquial stuff.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know.
Yeah. What's the one that I use? They don't use it up here. No, squinny. Don't be a squinny. Heard that. Squinny's like whinging, isn't it? You are such a squinny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we stopped twining.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't use that word.
Yeah, you stop twining. It's
Yeah, such a squin.
Isn't that funny?
Portsmouth, innit? That's what happens down south.
Well,
when you get out of my pub.
You've been practicing.
No, I haven't. I need to put a bit more anger in it. Get out of my pub.
Well, just pretend that they've stolen you Morrison's chocolate. or your fancy chocolate.
My fancy chocolate. I did actually have one square of my hazelnut one. And I gave one square to Callum. I haven't had a chance to ask him what he thinks. To be perfectly honest, I think it had a bit of a strange taste to it.
Right.
So I might have to have another square later in the interest of science.
Yeah.
But it might be one that gets swapped out.
Of your next order.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll tell you what it tasted a bit like. Have you ever had the hazelnut shots in your coffee when you're out and about? And it tastes like synthetic. You can tell it's not really hazelnut. You can tell it's flavouring rather than... That's what it tasted a bit like to me. So
which is bad, really, because the price per bar was not inconsequential, was it?
Exactly. It's about £2.50, and it's thin as well. It's not like your chocolate. You know, your chocolate is lovely and thick.
Let's just do the comparison to the Aldi, just for those who didn't see the chocolate earlier. This is Aldi's Chocker, and it's milk chocolate with salted pretzels, and it's really good.
So that's yours compared to mine in thickness.
Yeah, so, I think mine is thicker.
I would say yours is twice the thickness. And it's somebody said it on the website, actually. The hazelnut is just like at the bottom. It's not actually through. So anyway,
it reminds me of my mum's cherry cake.
Oh yeah,
because we always called it fruit at the bottom cake
because it was all down the bottom.
Yeah, actually, and then somebody said throw the cherries in with the dry flour,
right?
Or you add the wet ingredients. And that solved the problem. Now she gets fruit all the way through cake.
Oh, now that sounds good. What I was going to do the other day when I was in the spa, you know, the other week when I went for my prescription, you know, when you stood in the queue 2 meters behind the person in front of you and you're just down the food aisle and you're looking at stuff and you think, oh, I haven't bought that in eons. I'll have a go with that. Well, before it all kicked off, I put a load of tinned fruit in my last food delivery and it's still on the shelf. And in the spa, they had the proper blocks of jelly that you melt down.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was thinking, I'm going to put the fruit in with the jelly, right? But I haven't done it yet because I keep thinking, when you do the jelly, you do it with boiling hot water. How am I going to put the fruit in the jelly without cooking the fruit?
Right, so you do half of the quantity of boiling water,
Right.
and then you take the juice from the fruit
Okay.
and top it up. It's usually a pint.
Right.
So half a pint of boiling water.
To melt
Juice
the
from
thingy.
Yeah, once that's all melted and combined and no lumps and bits,
Yeah.
add the juice from the tinned fruit and then top it up to the pint and then
Right.
add your fruit.
And then that won't cook the fruit.
That won't cook the fruit because it'll have cooled down enough with the cool water.
Right. Well, when we finish talking, I'm going to go and do that because I fancy some of that for my tea.
Now, Matt Tebbett on Saturday Kitchen was talking to, is he the wine fella?
I don't
The
know.
one
Don't
that
watch
looks
it.
a bit like a young Boris Johnson.
Don't watch it. Sorry. I'm usually out running.
Well, he was on and he was waffling about tinned raspberries.
All right.
And I haven't had tinned raspberries in years. Sometimes Mum would get them. They're always quite expensive.
I don't
Certainly
think
in the
I've ever
70s.
had them.
And he said, I absolutely love them. And Matt Tebbett admitted that it was one of his guilty secrets. And that you take them out, and he said the fruit is quite mushy because it's one
Right.
of those fruits. It does mush very quickly.
It's got high water
But
content.
he said if you
hasn't it?
take the juice out of it and save it for something and then mush the raspberries, they're absolutely brilliant for making a fruit coulis or a sauce or a pie filling.
Ah.
And he said they've got a lovely tartness about them. They're not sweet at all. And that's one of the things I really like about raspberries. They're not
I do like
ridiculous
raspberries.
sugary.
I've got some frozen ones. I used to put them in my porridge.
I always have frozen raspberries in the house and blueberries.
Black cherries.
Oh, I've always got Morello or black cherries. Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah.
I've got, so for my tinned fruit that I bought, because it just reminded me of my childhood. Do you remember on a Sunday you'd have tinned fruit, wouldn't you? And maybe if you were really, really lucky, you'd get a block of vanilla ice cream to go with it.
Did you not have yours with carnation milk? Because we always
sometimes
evaporated milk.
We would normally have evaporated milk, but occasionally we would be really lucky and get a little bit of vanilla ice cream, you know, depending on how flush we were. So
do you remember getting Arctic roll?
I remember. You can still get Arctic roll, you know.
No, they seem a lot smaller than they
I
did.
know, it's depressing. I loved Arctic roll. Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
And do you remember when you had the fruit salad and there was always 2 half cherries and everyone would fight over them? There was never any more. It was like somebody was being really stingy with the cherries.
Obviously expensive. I really like cherries.
So I can't remember. I've got peach, I've got pineapple, and I've got one other tinned fruit, and I can't remember. Oh, pears. Or tinned pears. I know. I thought I'm going for it. I'm going to have some of this fruit. So I've got orange jelly and I can't remember. I think I might have got lemon and lime. But I used to eat the jelly straight out the block.
My mum used to have to cut up one square into half.
For you to share.
For us to share, or they'd be fighting, and then she'd have to make the jelly slightly less, you know, sort of 18 fluid ounces instead of 20 or something. Obviously, there was less jelly than there was meant to be.
Simple pleasures, hey?
Oh, and licking the bowl with the cake mix in it.
Used to love it. My mum had one of those machines, you know, with the double whiskey things.
Oh, yeah.
And she used to take them off and we'd get one of them each.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
And it was like a little lollipop and you could lick the cake mix off.
They're so good. I mean, we rarely ever had fresh cream, maybe at Christmas if they were feeling flush.
Yeah.
but nearly all the time it would be carnation milk.
And do you remember
Evaporated.
when the squirty cream came on the market, and you know, you felt you were really posh if you managed to get a can of that?
Well, we had that because by that time we had the pub, and we always had that in for desserts and stuff.
Yeah.
And she had something called, I think it was Glen Delight or something like that. And it was a fake, thick cream. It poured, but only just.
Right.
And it was obviously made with a mixture of vegetable oils and others and flavourings and things like that. But the customers loved it on the pies.
Vegan cream.
They loved it. Yeah, it was very clever. But
yeah.
it was, and it wasn't much cheaper than real cream, but obviously it kept better.
Yes.
Because of all the preservatives. I always think all these people who ate it and died are probably still looking amazing.
Yeah, they've been preserved that
all
well.
The preservatives were free embalming.
It's one of the things I really miss. I used to love, especially at Christmas, the extra thick double cream, the one that you do actually have to spoon because it's never going to move.
That's my favourite.
Oh, and you could get the one with Madagascan vanilla in, or I think Morrison's did a Bailey's flavoured one at Christmas as well.
Yeah, most of the supermarkets do, but I just like the plain one in the very big tub.
Yeah.
Very big tub with a whopping spoon in it and a handful of after it mince.
Oh, now you're talking.
And it's lovely on scones with jam. Of course, we'll get into the scone argument.
I was just going to say it's scones.
And then the purist will be saying, is it jam, butter, jam, and then cream, or is it cream and then jam? Which is it?
It is butter, jam, cream.
That's what I think. Because otherwise everything slurps off.
How do you put jam on top of cream?
I do not know.
I don't understand it. My sister has an answer to this when she cuts her scone in half. Scone. She puts butter on them both, jam on one, cream on the other, and holds it sideways and says neither one's on top.
It's a scone because gone.
It's a scone just because I said so. Scone. It's scone on the wall.
Well, I'm on the spice colour now.
Oh, now that is a nice colour. Yeah. So is that your third repeat?
It's the start of my third repeat, yeah. I'm 3 colours in.
What do you reckon to my stripy sleeve then? How sexy is that?
I think that's fab. It is a prototype, and you just use any old yarn for a prototype, because otherwise. Now, just because the book's next to me.
Okay.
What does this say about my colour choice?
Does
it remind you of anything?
No, nothing at all. I can't see it myself.
There's no. In fact, there's no purple in this at all. How could anybody design a coloured blanket and not have purple?
And the fact that we've only just talked about it on your third repeat.
Yeah, but I've never noticed till now.
Do you think if you'd have noticed beforehand, you'd have snaffled a purple from somewhere and snuck it in?
I'd have looked in my stash because, you know, I have the odd ball of wool lying around the house.
Just the odd one here and there.
Or special DK, probably in grape or something like that, and put it near the greys.
Sounds lovely. Great.
I'd have sneaked it in there. Or possibly the plum. The plum colour is quite good.
I do like plum.
Yeah.
Plum is a nice colour.
And it would suit you very well.
I do look good in plum, actually. I think I used to have a really nice dress in plum.
And you probably look quite good in raspberry.
I don't think I have anything on the red spectrum.
Yeah, not everybody likes it. And yellow's another one that you can cut her in with yellow.
See, I like mustard yellows. I think this is probably the closest I've got to a pinky colour in my wardrobe. This is like a coral. And it's not really, you know, the best colour on me, but I don't care because I'm just sitting at home and I'm not going anywhere.
Well, and nobody here minds.
No, not a problem, is it? And it goes with the stripe down the side of my trousers.
Yeah. And Christine will be watching in her running gear because she's been out for a run.
Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's why I went for it today. I thought it'd match. Christine been running?
Yeah, she's been out for a run. I saw a route on Facebook. She does this sort of. It's not
because it doesn't count if it's not somewhere, either on Strava or on Facebook, preferably both.
Yeah, I think it's a Strava thing that she shares of where she's been. Yeah. And occasionally a little comment about either the run or why she went running, because the one that made me laugh out loud last week was, I am going out for a run for the benefit of Jeffo's continued health.
I like it.
She's gone out so she doesn't kill him. And every wife or partner who read it went, yeah.
My husband and I got divorced on religious grounds. He thought he was God and I didn't.
Yeah, well, you know.
That sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My dad always says, whenever my mum's in earshot, he always says, I know my own mind, don't we? He said.
Meet my first husband.
Yeah, occasionally he introduces her as the current wife.
The current wife, I like.
What do you mean? What do you mean, the current wife?
Well, you never know what's round the corner.
Well, she says she hasn't got the energy to train another one if he pegs it. So
honestly, I really couldn't be doing with a new training session.
No.
It's like getting another dog, isn't it? It's like, oh, for goodness sake, we have to go through the toilet training and everything again.
Well, yeah, it's like one of those things when Mike eventually is allowed to visit in November or whenever it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to clear that side of the bed. It's got yarn stacked on it with old project labels of what I'm going to make with it. And how inconvenient is that?
I think it's quite rude of him, actually.
I think he should volunteer to sleep on the sofa when he comes so that I have time to consider my yarn.
Yeah, definitely.
Or in the car.
Or could Jake go and sleep around Rosie's and he could borrow his bed?
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be up for that, given that Jake's had, you know, low disease and.
Well, yeah, but I don't think it lives that long, does it?
I don't know. I suppose it depends what's living on Jake's sheets. I mean,
that's true.
A dozen times to throw them out of the room in a bin bag, and I'll take them to the washer and put them on super double killer medic wash.
Yeah.
90 degrees or whatever it is, and then this extra wash, extra rinse. And I've got some of that Dettol stuff that
I was going to say you can put anti-bac in, can't you?
Yeah, we use that on every wash, and I don't really do it for the washing. I do it because it keeps the inside of the machine beautifully clean, and you don't have any of that crud from the soap powder or soap liquid to clean off if you use that. So I would quite like to get his bedding off his bed and put it through the super kill wash and put some clean bedding on. But I know that if I throw the bedding and just into his room and say, give me the other stuff, he'll give me it, and I'll have to put on a full hazmat suit to bring it to because it'll be bogging. But then there's the other thing of it'll take him 3, 4, possibly 5 days to get the duvet cover onto the duvet, because he's quite happy to snuggle under a naked duvet.
It just doesn't feel right.
Well, no. And if you've got even the tiniest patch of rough skin, you know, on your heels or a scraggy toe or something, you tear your duvet to pieces.
Yeah.
And they're not cheap, are they? I mean, it's, you know.
And then also you can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
you know, what you're supposed to do with them, apart from give them to the dogs. That's about it, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. And I just think, well, what's
That's
going
great.
on there? So I don't know. I'll request again, and I'll let you know. Well, you'll see me in my hazmat suit if I get it out.
I don't understand teenagers, because my two are exactly the same. They'd be quite happy to sleep in the same sheets for as long as you would let them. But me, I want to change my sheets. I love the feel of clean sheets. I think it's a treat, and it's definitely worth the effort.
I must admit, I haven't done mine for a fortnight.
Right.
Because I didn't feel like it. But I'm sort of looking at them now thinking, yeah, you lot need to be off. And I've actually got the next set of bedding sat there ready to go on. I just didn't feel well enough to do it.
Well, when you're not well, that's different though, isn't it?
So I obviously am feeling like it now, because I'm thinking, yeah, you lot are coming off it. And the only thing that stops me is I'll have to move that pile of yarn.
Oh God.
And then some poor person ordered some de-stash stuff from me that I put onto eBay, some patents
I still don't understand what that word means. You've used it before. It's just, it doesn't make sense.
It's colours that don't suit me and are
Yeah.
not good for me. So, you know, I'm never going to do anything with them.
You'd make a blanket.
I had sorted it all out. I had all the eBay stuff together.
Yeah.
Is it there? No, I've had the house upside down looking for it. So I've had to give her a full refund and an apology and take the listing down. And I've said, if I do find it over the next few days while I'm ratcheting through stuff and hitting myself around the head for losing it, then I'll get back in touch and she can purchase it again. And she, bless her, she's been lovely about it. But what can you do?
It's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, and generally I keep all of that sort of stuff in the same place. So I can't figure out where it's gone.
I must admit to having put in an order for more yarn at the weekend.
What did you order?
Well, you know that cardigan that I'm making, that baby cardigan?
Yeah.
I ran out.
Paint box.
Yeah, I ran out of the champagne white.
Right.
So I had to order more champagne white, didn't I?
And then how much was it for free delivery?
Well, it was less than I spent because they were having a sale on packs of 5 of the paint box baby yarn.
Right, okay. So you've bought the yarn for the baby collection then?
Yeah. So well, I mean, I bought the yarn for making some baby stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, the samples could be made again in something different, can't they? But yeah, so we ordered a pack of 5 champagne white, and then there was a ballet pink that I liked, because, you know, babies have to be in
there's
ballet
a girl
pink.
on the way, isn't there?
Yeah. And then my stepdaughter, I shared the link with her, and she picked a very pale misty grey and a blush pink.
Oh, so
we've got 4 lots of 5 balls of wool coming.
Right.
And while I was there, I bought 2 Addy lace circular needles.
Oh, they are lovely needles though, aren't they?
Well, I've never tried them, but I know everybody raves about them, and I know they've got a really nice pointy tip, and I do like a really pointy tip. These hires have got them.
Yeah, I've got 1 Addy lace somewhere, and I've got 4 or 5 of the regular. They look like metal, but they feel like plastic, to be honest.
So,
well, be a suicidal keyboard.
Oh dear. So I did actually pay for. Hang on, nobody's listening, are they? I paid for the wool out of my husband's money because he could then say he'd bought something for his granddaughter.
Right, that's really clever.
How clever am I?
How fiendish.
That wasn't coming out of my money. My effort is the making, and he's bought it, you know.
Yeah. So, could you not have thrown in a sweater quantity of Malabrigo Rios? You really weren't thinking, were you?
I just wanted to keep it below his radar.
Okay.
Sort of like 50-60 pounds. Anything
There's a threshold.
Yeah, he starts asking questions. It's funny. But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that all coming.
Oh, funny.
And I don't need to hide it either because he's not coming for a while.
Right.
So.
Well, no, I don't think it. I'll be surprised if I see Mike before the autumn.
Yeah, well, I had this conversation with him on the phone today. I said, I was thinking when it's all sorted and people are allowed to start moving and planes start flying again, I said, what are you going to do? Say, for example, it's July, sort of like, you know, middle of July time. Are you just going to come as soon as you can? Or are you going to then say, well, I would normally come the middle of August. I'm just going to wait for my normal holiday. And he said he was just going to wait until August.
Right. I think he'll be waiting until September, but that's just me.
That's fine, because I got a bit annoyed actually, because I know why he wants to come at that time, because he always goes away for a week on his golf holiday. End of August, beginning of September. So
right.
If it's September, it's fine, because he won't be able to go because it won't be on, will it?
No. Well, and even if he comes home in August, he may have to go into 2 weeks of quarantine.
He might, yeah.
It's
all right. You can still do the gardening, can't he?
Well, yeah. The lawn will have grown back a bit by then. You can calm down, Coco.
Or do you think it'll be like an official quarantine where they take them off the plane and put them in a specific place, like they did that? Well, they did that at the beginning, didn't they? And then they stopped.
Up until they just couldn't cope.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the number of people that I know who've come back in quarantine have been picked up at the airport by taxi.
Right.
Brought home.
Yeah.
Depending if they've been on a cruise, the cruise carriers have sent them home with shopping.
Oh.
Sent them home with a couple of bags of like bread, milk, and eggs, and
so they don't have to go anywhere. That's quite nice.
Bacon, and obviously not for anybody Muslim, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Basics.
Yeah, just essentials to go home with, and they've not really had to worry about anything, at least for a few days, while they get used to being at home. And then it gives them chance to get online and see what help is available, who's volunteering on shopping.
Yeah, contact someone.
And just get the lay of the land.
Yeah.
So I think that's worked quite well for a lot of people. They've been really surprised. But obviously, if you're going with, I don't know from practical experience whether that's the case with, say, somebody like EasyJet, who I love and despise.
Mm-hmm.
But I can just imagine that they're like dump you at the airport.
Oh God, yeah.
Thanks for that.
Weren't they talking at one point of getting? I don't know if it's EasyJet or Ryanair, or if it's just completely fake news and I've made this up. They're talking about getting rid of all the seats in the aeroplane and putting these standing things on.
Oh, that was just a joke.
Right.
It was aimed at Ryanair, and it was
right.
There's a series, I think it's called Come Fly With Me, David Williams.
Oh, yes, I know
Matt Lucas, and one of them plays the foreign owner of the airline, and he does these planks.
I think that's Matt Lucas does that bit, doesn't he? Yeah,
and that really made me laugh. And they were talking about £30 credit card charge to use the emergency exit.
And the toilet.
Yeah.
You have to pay to use the toilet. That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
I do like that sort of thing. I was watching last night, actually. Have you ever seen the MASH report?
I have, yeah.
There was a new one on last night. Nish Kumar is doing it from his spare bedroom, and he's accidentally shaved all his beard off.
Right.
And he's going on about, oh, do you remember when Brexit was going on, and nobody remembers that anymore, do they? And I didn't see it all because that's when I saw the thing about Boris Johnson come up. so I turned it off to put the news on to find out. But it is it's so funny, you know, they have the news desk, and they have that gorgeous woman who does the news, doesn't she? Yeah. So she was doing the news to do with being in lockdown, and I was going to share it with you because I was like, Loraine will see the funny side of this, because it was me, and this woman was going on about how ever since we've all been in quarantine, the phone never stops ringing and everyone keeps FaceTiming her all day long and she can't get away. And while she's talking, the Skype's going in the background, and she says something like, somebody rang me just to find out where they could find carrots or something. She's just like, pulling her hair out going, it's incessant, it's just constant, I can't get away from them like this. And I was like, Loraine will just laugh at this.
I would have howled.
You'll have to watch it. It's on the BBC iPlayer, because I was looking for that movie that you recommended, The Scoundrels, and it wasn't on. So I don't know.
Mike watched it yesterday, so you know.
Well, I don't know if maybe it was just a little bit too early, because sometimes there's a delay in them putting stuff up, isn't there?
Yeah, possibly.
So I'll have a look.
I messaged him last night because he's a big Boris fan, you know.
I actually quite like him as a person, do you know?
As an individual, I think he's fun and he's exceptionally clever. Yeah, I don't agree with his politics, but having said that, I wouldn't wish COVID-19 on my worst enemy. I genuinely hope that he's back steering the ship very, very soon, because we need continuity of leadership.
Exactly. Yeah, we certainly do.
And at the end of the day, he's somebody's son, husband, lover, father, you know,
and
all
he
of that.
Is the Prime Minister.
He's a human being. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we need to rally behind and just send every good wish, because that's the right thing to do. Yeah. Yeah, I think the last one of the Daily Mash that I watched was something to do with equal pay for women.
Oh, yes.
And the girl sort of says, yes, and I'll just hand you over to so-and-so now, because apparently a man is the right person to report on this particular issue. Glances off.
I love it.
But it's always like that. It's so true.
It is, yeah. But that's why I like the satire programmes, because it is so true. Is it Lisa Parish that's on there?
I don't know. It reminds me quite a bit of one that used to be on years ago. Do you remember Drop the Dead Donkey?
I remember it, but I couldn't tell. I didn't really watch a lot of it, so I couldn't remember specifics, if you know what I mean.
I always remember there was a very posh news presenter on it, the character. Right. She might have been called Sally.
Okay.
We'll go with Sally.
Yeah, we'll go with Sally. That's
close
good.
Enough.
Yeah.
But she had a thing on the quiet for truckers in sort of dirty toilets. And
so she liked a bit of rough.
Cruise the country for a bit of rough.
Yeah.
It's just, there's all these ridiculous characters and stupid plot lines, and this went wrong and that went wrong. And George, who was this sort of studio manager, always had massive pustules on his face.
Oh, no.
This disease or that disease. There was always something wrong with him, bless him, or some pure allergy that nobody had ever heard of. And he was the test case for the laboratory or something. It was just exceptionally clever.
You could probably still watch that on like BritBox or something.
You probably can. I used to howl sometimes at the.
Yeah, I love that sort of thing. It's just so funny. The one that I really like was where she was talking to Nish, and she was explaining I think it was sexual harassment in the workplace, and when something is not an apology and things like that, and she was just doing it in a really condescending way, like mansplaining, but by a woman instead. I just think it's hilarious.
But it's definitely true, my
humour. It is. It really is.
It's completely true.
What were we watching the other day? And I said, oh, that's typical manspreading. It was Caitlin and I started to watch Jesus Christ Superstar.
Right.
And one of the characters in it I don't even know who it was, but he was sat on a chair and he was completely man spreading everywhere.
It's just no need for that, is there?
No.
I was watching, I think it might have been on Disney Plus.
Strange that, you know.
It was, it was YouTube.
All right.
It must have come up in recommended videos, and it was an interview with Chris Pine.
Oh yeah. I wonder why that was recommended.
And it was about the new Wonder Woman movie.
All right.
Okay, well, watch that. And they were showing clips of Star Trek bloopers.
Oh.
The deleted bits where they cock up and stuff like this. And he says this scene where they're walking down the corridor, the outside of the ship, and they're talking something medical. Carl Urban's walking behind him. And he said, just make up a medical term and tell him that that's returned and you just need to do some tests. So he comes out with Andorian herpes. And all he sees Chris Pine collapse laughing. Carl Urban gets the giggles and the camera's going like this because the cameraman's howling. And stuff.
Oh, God.
I've seen, is it Star Trek 2 or Star Trek Beyond?
Right.
At the beginning, he's in this massive sort of parliamentary type building, and there's these little teddy bear type creatures, aggressive type creatures, and he's got to ask them about something. And part of his speech is that I'm here to represent the Verbonen government, and he can't say Verbonen, and there's about 100 takes going like Verbonen over.
Because it sounds rude.
Yeah, and then he's like, and then he does get it right, and he gets the giggles. So they've all got to start again. You can see here's Simon Pegg in the background, absolutely howling with laughter, and it just really tickled me. I thought it was so funny.
Wouldn't you just love to work with Simon Pegg?
Yeah, I think he'd be great fun.
Wouldn't he just?
Yeah, I mean, I love watching Paul with the
Paul
aliens.
is brilliant, but Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yeah, Don't Stop Me Now.
Yeah, I absolutely love that movie. And actually, did you see? Was it Run Fat Boy Run?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Where he gets about 100 yards and gets the stitch.
Yeah, that's the one. Used to get that shouted quite a lot at me when I was running when I first started. And Run Forest Run as well. You used to get that shouted because people think that they're so clever and they're the first person that's ever shouted that at a runner.
I used to go do a lap of the village and the town.
Yeah.
And depending on which way I went, sometimes I would come back this way, sometimes I would come back that way.
Okay.
I'm coming back through Little Earswick, so I'm coming back this way towards my house. And there's some builders, and I've seen them every single day. And every day they've gone, oh, come on, love, get some speed up. You can do it, blah-de-blah-de. And this particular day, I've got Mike with me. Not a dicky bird, not a word. And I stopped and I went, oh, no fucking clever remarks today. It's just a bit of fun. I said, no, if you've not got anything to say in front of him, let's get all of the snidey comments out. And I went past the next day and he just went, morning, love. Enough of this.
Yeah.
Confront it for what it is.
Well, exactly.
The thing is, men would cycle past and they'd just go, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're not going, oh, spandex or any of that.
Yeah, because they wouldn't dare, would they?
No. So yeah, I thought I'm just going to play you at your own game now. It's a bit like that Lucille Ball thing, isn't it? We'll tell her to her face.
I like it. I'm still going to use that. I've written down on my notebook, disinfected my flaps for the postman. I'm gonna have to write a little note on my door. Channel my inner Loraine.
Yeah.
And
I thought I might get the laminator out for mine.
That'd be quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me use the postie.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to now. This is when I was editing yesterday's one for my little teaser clip from my Instagram, and you said it and it just absolutely cracked me up. I had to write it down.
I can't remember who posted it, of a photograph on somebody's door, and I just thought it was brilliant.
It is funny.
I think it might have been on the Posties sort of union page.
Like when they spotted it out and about and they shared it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they very often show pictures of the kids' rainbows and teddy bears and things like that they see when they're out and about.
That's what I like to do when I go out on the roads for a run at the moment. I mean, I'm not trying for times or anything. You can't, because you've got to avoid other people, and sometimes you have to run in the road, and
Yeah,
you know, and so if I see anything that you would not have seen before this happened, I take a photo of it. Flash that back again. Come on.
it's like the dance of the seven birds.
Little woo, little flash. It's gorgeous. Is that colour finish now?
I finished the spice. I've just joined the gold, which is that
Up a bit.
a mucky
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
colour.
yeah.
A mucky mustardy colour.
I do like a mucky mustard.
Yeah, it's a filthy mustard. Yeah, it's not showing very well there, but it shows better.
It shows better there. It's usually when it's got another colour next to it, you can see it better, can't you? Oh yeah.
It's that one.
It's nice, that. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
I'm really enjoying it.
Cool. So will you be able to work on that when you've got your other appointment coming up very shortly?
I probably will, because they're doing a 1 minute segment where we will be required to be, all of us, on video and audio.
Okay.
And it's because we wanted to do a clap of appreciation for all of the staff, many of whom are having to still go out and do emergency jobs and things like that, frontline stuff.
Right.
Housing officers who are spending hours and hours a day phoning round, checking on residents, making sure people have got the support they need, that they've got the contact numbers they need. I mean, if you haven't got the internet and you haven't got family, how do you know who locally is there to help you or who to contact? And it isn't necessarily all there on the telly.
No.
And a lot of them may have stopped their newspaper because the newspaper men may not want to deliver in certain areas, you know. So it's all, or perhaps can't because they're not well, you know. So it's all stuff like that. But it's we thought we would do a little 1 minute clap and as a thank you.
Right.
Obviously, they're having to work through challenging times. Nobody's been furloughed, in that nobody's been sent home without pay or anything like that.
It's lucky, yeah.
It's, could say, look, we've got a brilliant team in terms of financial management.
Oh, well, that's good then.
There is no support system out there because we're a charity to actually allow us to claim 80% of staff's wages. We will have to fund that, which sucks a bit, but hopefully Rishi was talking about putting together some kind of package for the third sector, so hopefully that will happen. But
yeah,
we've got good solid finances for the time being. It's all good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I can sit and crochet while I'm doing it and it helps me concentrate.
Yeah, I like to have my hands busy. Otherwise I start to doodle anyway, so what's the point? You're still doing something, aren't you?
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I think with doodling is occasionally if someone irritates me or says something unbelievably stupid, I might start writing something down on paper that somebody then can see.
Exactly.
Whereas I might just crochet faster in frustration.
Angry knitting.
Of hate into a couple of stitches rather than a big note on a piece of paper that just says knobhead or something like that. You think.
But remember that your blanket is filled with love.
It is. It's filled with love for me.
Yes, exactly.
All mine.
All yours.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to let you go in a second then to go and get ready. Get yourself a fresh cuppa.
Yeah.
Go to the little girl's room.
Yes, I'll have to go and have a horse pee.
Yeah. I will need to go and do one of those in a minute.
Yeah, and I've got to quickly cook some sausages. Jake wants sausage, mash and onion gravy.
Oh, see, I've been craving that sort of thing recently. Pure comfort food, isn't it?
It is, and I got the Aldi Cumberland sausage, and they are good.
Lovely.
They're super nice, and they're gluten-free.
What did we have today? Oh, I am such a selfless mother, I tell you, right? I managed to get 2 steaks in the shopping last week. So as a lovely selfless mother, I let Callum have steak and chips, and I just had pasta and tin tuna. How nice am I?
I'm going to regret that next week when there's no steak.
I know. But well, he's still got one. There's still one left in the fridge. I said to him, you have the steak, because we've only got so many chips as well. I'm such a lazy person. I buy chips. Sorry.
I buy chips.
I just think, what's the point? You know, they're cheap enough.
Aldi home style oven chips because Jake loves them.
Yeah.
And they're not massive on thins for Slimming World either, so I can actually feel like I'm joining in. But I do buy potatoes and use the air fryer to make Slimming World chips as well. But
yeah,
it's only because I've got an awkward diet and he can eat the other stuff. It's not.
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of the chips I can't eat because they have seasoning stuff on. So I just get the cheap Morrison's own crinkle cut chips. There's literally nothing on them. It's just chips with sunflower oil. And they're nice enough. You just shove them in the oven and they're fine. I think they're only like £1 or something.
Yeah, they're not money at all, are they?
Yeah. So anyway, I was just thinking, I'm quite happy to eat the pasta and the tuna and stuff off the shelves and push going shopping another few days. I said the same to Caitlin. She normally has pasta dinners that I get her. I said, well, you know, you've got loads of vegetarian stuff in the freezer. You're just going to have to eat it, I'm afraid. Because I'm not going shopping as much as, you know, like once or twice a week. I want to go maybe every 10 days. Just try and push it as far as possible.
Well, I mean, the other thing is that, you know, to not put too fine a point on it, you take your life in your own hands when you go shopping at the moment, as do all the key workers, the delivery drivers, and everybody else that's keeping the country going. They're all risking their lives to one extent or another, and this virus doesn't care how powerful you are, how kind you are, how old you are, or whether you're a good person. It doesn't give a monkey's chuff. You know, so anyone that's out there, I mean, I had disposable gloves on. I had a decorator's mask on today to go and get these prescriptions. And then I managed, when I got back in the car, to tear one of the gloves.
Oh, no.
So when I had to drop them off, I had to have hand sanitizer in the car.
I've got some in the car.
Cover my hands with hand sanitizer to be able to hand them over and put them outside somebody's house for them to pick up safely. And wait for them to get it, because obviously you can't just drive off and then get home and then straight in to wash my hands, because I'm thinking, you know, I've touched all this stuff.
Exactly. I've even got I managed to get some baby wet wipes before everybody went.
They're ace, aren't they?
Yeah, so I've got baby wet wipes and hand sanitizer in the car.
Yeah.
Just for your steering wheel and that, really, mainly, isn't it? Wash your hands off, wash your steering wheel off, and
the door handles inside and out, I do.
Yeah.
It's the only bit of the car that's clean, if I'm honest. Rain is car washing.
Mine's not too bad because it went in for its MOT and everything just before this all happened, and Lexus took it, picked it up, did the stuff, give it a complimentary valet, and brought it back. So, and it's
your still deed, is it, or is it
my Land Rover? Yeah, it's still dead on the other side. My friend Ian said he'll come at some point to give it a jump start because he's got the leads and everything, but I don't know when he'll come, because it's not really deemed essential at the moment because I have got a car that's working.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, so we'll see.
It'll wait, won't it?
What'll happen will happen. And to be perfectly honest, it's been dead so long, it probably will need more than a jump start. It'll probably need a whole new battery, to be fair.
When was the battery changed last?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, probably.
That's a man's thing. Like, it could have been done last year for all I know. I wouldn't know. Sorry. Sorry to like reinforce all these stereotypes and things, but
there I am touching my face again.
Don't do it
with my hands.
I am good, as in I will keep my water checked, my oil checked. I do check my tires and things like that. But if it's anything that's under the bonnet other than the water, forget it. It's nothing to do with me. I don't go near it.
No, I can do minor repairs. I can change windscreen wipers and things.
Oh, I've done that. I have changed a windscreen wiper.
And I can change tyres.
No, I can't do that.
If I have to. But
I know how to do it, but I can't physically do it. I've even stood and jumped up and down on the flipping thing that you turn the screws with.
Well, if they've done it with the machine at the garage, you won't be able to get them off manually.
Exactly. So
which doesn't help, does it?
No. I think one of my tyres on the Land Rover is looking rather flat as well, but it's fine because I've got one of those electric tyre pumpy things in the boot. And last time that happened, yeah, whatever it is, it just puts stuff in the tyre, you know, makes it big again.
You're a natural engineer.
I am, aren't I? It's brilliant. And it does it. It does the job. Last time that happened, it was flat. I used my Dewberry and I got to the garage and they sorted my tyre out for me. What more do I need?
Brilliant. Genius.
Yeah. Sorted.
Yeah, it's all cool.
It's all cool.
Yeah.
Right, you need to go and get ready, missus.
I do. I need to look sort of tidy and eat something. I suppose I could eat while I'm in the meeting, but I'll have to mute myself because
just mute it and go. What? Wasn't doing anything.
What's that noise? No idea. It's not me.
It's not me. Has someone done something to their mic? Hello. Oh, brilliant.
Right, quick flash.
Oh, quick flash. Woo woo. Oh, it is looking impressive. Oh, did you see I put a photo of behind the green door onto Instagram?
I did see it. Yeah, it looked really good.
It's coming along lovely.
I've dug out my rose photo background ready for when I do my picture of my cowl.
Ooh, posh.
Yes, I thought it would go quite well with it, the pink roses.
Yeah, definitely the colours. So enjoy your important meeting.
It's just an update really, but obviously we need to be there. We need to ask questions and challenge and all of that good stuff.
Accountability and
yeah, there has to be an audit trail for decisions, and officers need to know that what they're doing is what we want them to do, and that we need to know that everything we're doing is within the guidance, the law, and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's
cool.
It's something that's got to be done. But it'd be nice to see how everybody is as well.
Yeah, catch up.
Maggie will be there. I think her husband John Ashton was the fellow who's been on the news and on YouTube on Double Dose News or something like that. It's called.
Right.
Absolutely ranting it because he's an expert in health. He's a former deputy health director.
All right, okay.
And he advised the government months ago to move much more quickly with all of this.
Yeah.
So he's been on all sorts of telly and all the rest of it over the last few weeks. Bless him.
It's so sad. Right, so we'll see everyone tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye for now. Have fun.
Toodles.